Welcome to Around Town on a rainy afternoon here in early September. I'm your host, Dick Patten. It's a pleasure to have you join us today as my special guest is Chief Brad Osgood from the police department. And what are you going about these jaywalkers? Today, coming down South Main Street onto North Main, there are people from the Capitol Center for the Arts down to the Concord Co-op. Just, you thought that they were in New York City or down to Hampton Beach or something, just walking in the road, you know, no crosswalks. But right there, I said, gee, they're lucky they don't get nailed out here.
Yeah. You know, with the whole redesign of Main Street, North and South Main Street, there's plenty of crosswalks. There's plenty of convenient places to cross. And whenever I'm downtown or, you know, our bike patrol is downtown and any of the officers on foot patrol, we do try to correct that behavior. So it could be very dangerous, especially in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
When it's dark.
Yep. And of course, as you can tell, it's getting darker early in the evenings now. But it's just, you know, I noticed it today. I said, my gosh, they're just lollygagging across, you know, thinking you're going to stop.
The other thing about Main Street, too, is we're fortunate. You know, I was a little not concerned, but, you know, when they switched from 4 lanes down to 2, I thought that would increase traffic congestion. But it really hasn't. It actually flows pretty good, in my opinion. And the speeds are a lot lower. So we really haven't had too many issues with traffic accidents or bicycle pedestrian issues,
well,
which is good.
I've seen it where you haven't. And a lot of times it's when Capitol Center for the Arts has got school buses lined right down to Bridge Street. And the cars, where do they go? They go in the middle of the thing, but they can't because there's a tractor-trailer parked there. And that's what it was today. Coca-Cola had their big tractor-trailer parked in the middle by CBS. And there was cars trying to come out of Warren Street. Of course, there's a line up there, line behind me, because, you know, it was crazy. And there wasn't a lot. I will say there was some empty parking spaces on Main Street, but, you know, I mean, you're right. When they went from 4 to 2, sure, but there's times when it's really congested down there. And cars are trying to come out of Warren or whatever, and trying to turn up school, and that causes problems. Or coming out of Capitol, you know, it's like, oh boy, where's the foot patrol? You know, and then of course you up there again on Green Street, you know, you got them construction guys out there, and they're not paying attention. You know, they're all having a smoke or something while they're on duty, which is fine, but they're not paying attention, and cars are going right down School Street, even though there's someone standing there, and you don't say, stop, you can't go, it's one way. Nope, stand right there looking at them. It's like, for gosh sakes, there's the police station, can't they tell you? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, and that's been one way for goodness knows how many years. Way back when I remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got through Labor Day, and now we're going to be talking about Halloween Howl pretty soon on Main Street.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing how I went in this couple of stores last weekend to get some things, and already the Halloween candy is out galore. I mean, they've got it all out. Some of them have got costumes out now. Excuse me. The Halloween store has opened up in Toys R Us now, the one that used to be up at Circuit City.
Right.
They have found a place there, and they're opened up. Walmart has cleaned out the big garden center, and you know it's coming in there, and they said it within a couple of weeks. Of Christmas trees will be out there, and so I mean that's all coming out. All that stuff's coming out. Don't
Yeah.
think about it. And of course, we're trying to get the parade underway, but got to have a meeting with your department there about what they want to suggest a parade route, because now I've got the parade back that I'm trying to send letters off, but I don't know what they're going to suggest for parade route. I know they want us to shorten it, and that's fine, but where? You know?
Yeah. So when is the Christmas parade normally? Is it in
Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Saturday before Thanksgiving?
There was a movement to move it to the day after Thanksgiving in the afternoon before the tree lighting. And the people who were wanted to do that politely got told, no. Black Friday is just too busy down there for parade. The high school bands the bands don't march, can't march on holiday weekends. And the comment was, we don't care. They don't do much. Well, so I've got it back again, 48th year, and been trying to get letters out because it's late now. Letters for police, for units to be in a parade.
So how many units, if you have like a Cub Scout pack or a Brownie pack, or Brownie troop, I should say. I mean, if you count that as one unit, how many units are normally in a Christmas parade?
Well, you got to count the fire trucks as a unit. That's the thing. That adds them up. We end up usually anywhere between 75 to 100, usually.
And that's a good, healthy parade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think, from what I've been told, that our parade is the largest in northern New England. Bigger than Manchester's, but I don't know. I don't go to Manchester. I have no idea. But I do know, if the weather's right, that we do get a lot out. Now this year, I don't suspect that we'll get any presidential candidates, but next year we'll get flooded with them. But this year, I don't think anybody will come out. But it's hard to say. So, but usually you get about 75 to 100. That's counting the animals and.
That's a good.
It's
a lot of work too.
It is,
Yeah.
Chief. And you know something? I mean, your guys and gals are really very good, but sometimes now this year, I don't have any help at all right now. No committees except Kevin Tucker has offered to do the sound system and reviewing stand. Of course, Deb is going to stay as treasurer, and after she gave it up. But I'm hoping to get some help. I mean, the day after Thanksgiving is this isn't New York City. This is not Boston. This is New Hampshire. And it's no day, no matter what's Black Friday, I hate that word, Black Friday has, but it's just in the afternoon. There's no day for it. There's just too much going on down there. The tree light, look how big that's gotten, That was another bone of contention. Some of the new blood didn't like the animals. They thought they stunk. Some didn't like this or that, and it's like, come on.
So when is the tree lighting?
Day after Thanksgiving.
Day after 6 o'clock usually.
Well, we light the tree at 6. We start at 4 o'clock or 3:30 with. We have a brand new petting zoo this year. The other one we've had for years has retired, so we've got a brand new one coming up from Derry. It's called Uncle Donnie's or something. And it's, from what I understand, it's quite nice, but it's always a little more expensive. We have the horse, the rides, the horse-drawn wagon rides from Pittsfield, Bruce Locke, and then Santa Claus will be brought in by the fire department. I'd like to get some more. Kevin is going to have fill a rescue truck down there with donations of food again and everything else. I'd like to get some more activities for the kids on the lawn up there, but right now it's money, and right now I don't have any money yet.
What about, so traditionally the tree lighting is always the day after?
By tradition, it's the day after Thanksgiving.
Right. What would happen if the parade and the tree lighting were done on the same day, like the Saturday after Thanksgiving?
It wouldn't work because you won't get no bands. The high school bands cannot march on a holiday weekend. At least the ones in Concord and Merrimack Valley, and of course Walnut doesn't march anyway. The Bektash Temple doesn't march anymore after Veterans Day. So you're really hurting for bands.
So if you pushed it off to the second Saturday after Thanksgiving, you're really getting out there. So,
yeah. It was too cold. The instruments, and by that time most high schools have put their marching stuff up for the year, and they're focusing now on orchestra and concert inside the school. And I like tradition, and it's all ever since when I was a kid. My sister and I, my folks, always took us down to Main Street the day after Thanksgiving, after supper, so we could see the Christmas lights lit up, and oh boy, you know, it was beautiful. And
it's kind of like Disney World too, because on Thanksgiving Day, in Disney World, when all of the patrons or guests actually go to sleep on Thanksgiving night, you wake up the next day and the entire park is decorated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They come out in the middle of the night and they do everything.
Wow. I mean, it's like we always with Macy's. But of course, Macy's in New York City does not light their tree until the following Wednesday when they have the Christmas tree lighting out down there. But yeah, that's New York City. And they're going to get a whole slew of people there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they have their annual Thanksgiving Day parade down, I don't know, Fifth Avenue or whatever it is. But Concord has, when I first was involved with the parade, it was the first Sunday in December. And that year, 1971, they had two bands, Concord High School and a band from Portland, Maine. There was a drum and bugle corps that had 20 people in it. And they had 3 floats. The fire department, Union had one, and 2 others. The Grange had one. I will say the Grange had one too. And from the Merrimack County Sheriff's posse was in there with their horses. And that was it. Santa Claus at the end. You know, it was nothing. And then next following year, I got to be in it, and chairman, co-chairman. And then, of course, we moved it to the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. And same thing. You couldn't get any bands. We had Concord High, and then of course they started putting the thing in it. No more Sunday marching. Then we moved it to when the JCs went defunct, we put it on the Saturday before Thanksgiving, downtown, because downtown got in and got involved, and they took it on that year, and oh my, it was a huge success. Oh, but of course what was lacking. No tree on the plaza, no manger, no light on the poles yet, you know, and so it really didn't seem like a holiday parade. Well, then the following year, Heights Alliance up here, the Heights Business Alliance, took it on. And we started from the old Twin State Lumber Company up there where now Shaw's is and all that mess. That was the old Twin State Lumber Company, which burned, had a huge fire one year, but they still had their big garage up there, big barn or whatever you call it, which they finally transformed into their offices. Well, we marched from there down Loudon Road to the, I think we went down to Kings, I don't know. And again, we had a good crowd. And then the following year, Main Street, no way, they didn't want it. So it came back to the Heights, but Heights Alliance was broke. They had spent all their money fighting 393, they didn't want it, still got it anyway. And King's department store took it on, and it was a good parade. And then they went out of business, and then the Grange took it on. And that's where the Grange has had it ever since. But the expenses got expensive, and the police department never charged for police coverage. And then that year the Grange took it on, Jim Moran, who was the sergeant or something, said, well, if you organizations want these parades, you got to pay for them. And that comment made the monitor boy. But, you know, so that's what happened. But it stayed up here in the Heights. The parade was very thin for a number of years, but then all of a sudden it started to grow and grow, and look at today. So, you know, we get.
I don't think I was around when you had that lumber yard up there. I do remember Grossman's up there.
Grossman's was past, was down. All right.
Like where Major Brands is and that area?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where it was. That originally was Major Rod lumber company down there, and Rod sold out to Steenbeck's. That's where Steenbeck's was initially.
Yeah.
And then they sold out and built another place down by on Manchester Street or someplace. They were down there for quite a while. Then they moved over to wherever they are now. Yeah. And but you know, it was we had a small parade route. We made the circle on Loudon Road. We started out on Pembroke Road and came back around Loudon Road and went back on Pembroke Road to Canterbury. We disbanded at the school on Dame School. But, oh no, Sprague Electric, I'm sorry. And, you know, we made a good thing, and we had a get together at the community center afterwards for Santa, and, you know.
Speaking of Dame School and the community center, have you had an opportunity to check out the new community center over there?
No.
No? I haven't either. I'm hoping to get over there tomorrow and take a little tour. I'm interested to see how it shaped out.
Well, Donna Noonan Roby and I actually gave her an idea that we should have a Dame School alumni. There should be a room, we should have a room over there that is historical for Dame School and the Heights. And David Gill said we had to pay $35 a week or whatever, and we couldn't afford that. But we really should have a history room of Dame School, for Dame School, artifacts, you know, and the Heights in general. Nobody knows what goes on, what's been up here. That's the problem. When I was interviewed by the Monitor last week for representative, I said to Ray Duckler, I said, do you remember much about the Heights? Well, you know, I said, do you remember where Toll's Market was? No, I guess not. I said, well, it's right beside where Kentucky Fried Chicken was, where Aroma Joe's was. That building, I can't remember, what's in there now, some smoke shop or something in there. It used to be a jewelry store. But that was Toll's Market, that building. And then they went out of business in '74. And Frank's Market across the street was the New Heights Market. Bought them out and changed it to a sporting store. Mm-hmm. That lasted maybe 2 months, and then Popeyes came in. That didn't last long. Then Captain somebody's seafood store came in. That was very successful, but didn't last long. Then another grocery store came in, and they were, they didn't have a meat department, but they had groceries and stuff. Well, that lasted for a couple of years, and that went out. So it's been a lot of things in there since I worked there. Then beside where Roma Joe's was the Toll family homestead right there. So then I said, gee, do you remember what was in there where, oh my, time is flying. Do you remember where, what was in where Lord Barron Apartments were, or now it's Parkview or whatever? No, I guess not. I said, well, that used to be Chet Saltmarsh's big house, farmhouse there. And beside that was Grace Hubert's house. She was a Grange member. She played the piano. Oh boy, she could play. That's where her house sits where D'Angelo's is. Nobody knows this stuff. They all think they know everything on the Heights. I said where the Red Apple was there were two, and Uno's or Aaron's, wherever it is, there were two houses there. One big white house that had a nice long porch around it. That was moved down on Burns Avenue. And then the other house belonged to Floyd and Beverly Lewis. He was an insurance agent. And I went to school with their daughter Barbara. Well, they moved that over to Branch Turnpike. I said, what was on the corner there where Walgreens sits? Oh, Vino's. I said, what was there before Vino's? Oh, I don't know. I said, well, that was where Frank Fosher lived, his house, which is now on Branch Turnpike. He was the owner of Frank's Market, then became Frank and Bob's, which was across the street from Toll's. The original Heights Market was down on the corner of Thomas Street and Loudon Road. Now it's a dead end.
Yep.
That's where New Hampshire Motor Sales was, across the street from it. So, there's a lot of history up here. I said that bank on there where Bangor Savings was never a bank there. And Blodgett Street never existed. That was the land of John and Alice Blodgett, who were Grange members. And she was the one who named that little, where the tree is, this Pinconia Park. And of course, when they died, that land got sold to somebody in Maine, I guess, and they tore it down, built a bank in there. Concord Savings Bank had a branch, and the Jaycees met downstairs in a community room, and Blodgett Street was named after them, and it was like a little thing there. So, where Wendy sat was a hairdressing salon out of her house. I can't remember Evelyn. I can't remember her last name. Evelyn and her husband lived there. So the Heights has changed drastically.
Yeah. So when I came to town, they were building the mall.
Yeah.
And you had Grossman's out there, and I think you had a bar out that way.
Oh, Millie's.
Wasn't there one
then
called
a tap room?
Chuggers? Was that something?
That's right? What came afterward.
Yeah, that's about the time I came to town.
Oh yeah, it was Millie's first.
Yeah.
Then the tap room, then Chuggers. Oh yeah, you could hear it when we lived in East Sugar Bowl. You could always hear the music from Millie's.
Yeah.
Through the woods. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think Loudon Road or the Heights, especially that quarter, has changed dramatically, and
Yeah.
at least in my 30 years, and certainly your 60 plus years. So I kind of agree with you that there should be a place where you are able to store artifacts and old photos of, because that's part of the Concord's history.
And Dame School right now, Marilyn Fraser taught there, but that was after I left there. Miss Downing, Teresa Downing, is still alive. She was living down in Conant Drive, I think. She was my third grade teacher. It'd be nice to have them come over and see it, maybe offer something. I don't think there's any, Mrs. Fanny, I think, just passed away. Mrs. Wolf is still alive. I didn't have her. Mrs. Graham was my second grade teacher. She lives with her husband over on Sheep Davis Road, 106, right across from the mall. And they have a sign up by their driveway. No signs here, and don't bother us or something. I don't know. But yeah, when that mall went in, boy, I mean, people were, look what happened. Now you get a school in there, a fitness center. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen the rest of it. God knows if Sears goes out and Penny's, they're sunk. Kohl's doesn't seem to want to come up here and take one of them, or Christmas tree shops or something like that. But the rent was, what I heard was the rent is so high in there that they just can't do it.
Yeah, profit margin's not there.
I know we're coming to a close, and again, this is Ian's last show with us. Around Town is going to go on hiatus for a while because I've got to find a new director, but I really appreciate all you have done coming on the show like you have, Chief. I consider, I've told you so many times that I'm going to ding you too, that I consider you such a friend and respect you so highly, and I just appreciate the support you've shown the show. I mean, you've kept us up to date with what's going on at the police department, and
Well, I appreciate that, and I certainly look forward to coming back when you hire a new director, and I wish Ian the best of luck. And
it's volunteer. That's the problem. You don't find volunteers today who want to do anything.
Yeah.
Ian's been a treasure, and I just hope I can find somebody as nearly as good as he has been. But it's the way it goes, The days of volunteering are gone.
Yeah.
You can see it in different things in Concord. So I really do again appreciate it, and on behalf of Ian and myself, you have a great day out there, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. I am off to Ann Arbor next Wednesday morning, and I appreciate your support in the election next Tuesday, so hopefully I can win. With that, I'm Dick Patten. Have a great day.